Oh, of course. Of course. Yeah. Now, focus. Move it away. It'll focus. Right? Right? There we go. All right. Gets the glare off that. Anyways, so power rankings. I did it again. All 30 teams. Let's go through. You guys can tear apart my rankings if you like. Number 30. There's not much debate on this, really. The New Jersey Devils are miserable right now. Miserable. 9 losses in a row. Um, Jersey's got major problems, and so does Detroit. So two teams who at one point in time, that doesn't seem that long ago to me, were cup contenders or winners, were both they're both on their way down. Hi, Bear. You don't need a co-host. No, I don't need a co-host right now, sweetie. I know. I love you too. Yes, you don't, baby. You don't need a co-host. I don't need a co-host, Kitty. I don't. You didn't come over here to see me for the last 2 hours. I've been sitting here. And now you're like, hey, the board's out. I want to see what's going on. No, you don't need to be out here. This is power rankings, and the kitty doesn't have to be out here. You don't. Just sit. Just sit. Or, by all means, just make the yeah, all right. You're gonna help, kitty? You gonna help me? This is Bear. For new subscribers, this is no. No, no, no. No, no. You're not having a bath. No. Not right there. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Nope. A little exhibitionist. All right, 28. Arizona Coyotes. They're better than two other teams right now, but it's still it's in progress. Number 27. I don't know if they moved up or moved down this week. Dallas. Dallas with the win over Washington. You'd think, well, they beat Washington. Why do you have them down at 27th? Because they've managed to stink for so long, and it's just been so hard to watch that I even rated them below the Colorado Avalanche, who beat these guys. And the Avs have shown signs. Pride. Pride's important. At 24, I have the Buffalo Sabres, who are coming off of a couple of tough losses. And I understand there's tough losses going on all over. And it's hard for me to put Buffalo there, but I had to put Buffalo there. Number 23, this is a team from a game I'm watching right now. Florida Panthers. Panthers are supposed to be better than this. Coming out of last season, 103 points. They did everything they could to fine-tune the team with advanced stats. Here they are. And ownership meddling probably didn't help. I think if Gerard Gallant was still there, I honestly think they'd be rated much higher. But that's me. So we'll see if I'm right or not by the end of the season. Number 22, Carolina. Nope. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. 23 is Carolina. These guys are getting better. The Rangers found out the hard way the other night. Carolina is getting better. If it wasn't for that road trip at the start of the year, which really killed them, I think Carolina would be in the hunt for the playoffs right now. And Sebastian Aho is one of the best untold stories this year in the NHL. It's fantastic. He's hit 20 goals, and it's not getting a lot of attention because these guys who are at 22 have some rookie named Laine who everybody's really excited about, and rightfully so. While Aho in Carolina is not as flashy as Laine, Aho is a star in his own right, and that'll be revealed over the years to come. Number 21, Vancouver, who are putting up a spirited fight considering they're undermanned, and they sold at the deadline, and they're actually playing some of the best hockey they've played all season right now. I honestly believe that. I think Vancouver's playing some of the best hockey they've played all year. Number 20. And this one kind of surprises me, but I can't justify putting them higher. Nashville's been having a lot of problems. Let me just cover the glare. Nashville's been having a lot of problems. They've lost 4 in a row. This is not the time of year to go into a slump, and Nashville is in a slump. Number 19. A team which is frustrating to watch because they get close and then they fall out again is Philly. If they beat in Toronto, Philly's in the playoff discussions a little more. The games against Toronto, that's why I have a hard time projecting them ending up overcoming the deficit to make the playoffs, even though points-wise they're in that race. And speaking of baffling, frustrating teams to watch, Kings. The Kings, after picking up Bishop and Iginla, were supposed to be more solid and together, and they're not. They're slow. And the Kings and their lack of foot speed is potentially enough to knock them out of the playoffs, which would be too bad for Iginla. Number 17 is the Leafs. The Leafs are a young team. This is not a ranking of how much enjoyment I get out of watching them, because I really enjoy watching the team play. But right now, this is where they're at. When you have so many rookies, and the Leafs have a lot, the odds of them hitting a wall, at least a few of them are going to, and that has happened. So it's a matter of fighting through that and learning for next year. Number 16, and this is where it gets tougher, because I like what the Islanders have been doing. The loss to Calgary was troubling, and yet they bounced back with wins over Edmonton and Vancouver. The Islanders right now are in the driver's seat, and they are potentially a playoff team. We'll just have to see. So that's the bottom half of the league. Let's get into the top half. At number 15, pretty sure they're moving up from where they were last week, is the St. Louis Blues. And no, I didn't watch last week's video to see where everybody was. Number 50, because I want this to be clean slate every week. Number 15, St. Louis. They honestly look like the stronger team between them and the Kings right now. Whether or not they can maintain that momentum is another question. Number 14, these guys got to get themselves together. While they found out Carolina's a good team, they still should win those games. Those are games that you have to win if you're the New York Rangers at this time of year. This is a bad time of year to start struggling, and their struggles against against Montreal, and now the Carolina issue. As the number 1 wild card, they appear likely to finish in that spot. And I liked it as recently as 2 weeks ago, but right now with the way the Rangers are playing, they could go out in the first round. Number 13. This was a tough call too, but the Oilers have lost some games. They've been iffy, and the Oilers, what's going on with the Oilers right now, and I know there's Oilers fans that are panicking because Calgary's caught them, and I think they were 11 points ahead of Calgary at one point this season. Edmonton's young in terms of Draisaitl and McDavid, and just as a team, they're still gelling. And this is their first year in playoff contention in a decade. So that lull, they've had one early in the season, they're having one now. I think they'll pull out of it. They could pull out of it as early as tonight against Pittsburgh. It's just one of those things that young teams go through, as Toronto. And 12th place, and I said a couple weeks ago, look out for Tampa. And Tampa looks full value right now. If Tampa continues on the streak they've been on, and they've been 6-2-2 in their last 10, so only 2 regulation losses in the last 10, they can get not only into the playoff conversation, which they are, but they can hunt down Brooklyn/New York. It's so weird that says Brooklyn. And the way it's spelled is just weird. Like, well, we can't get Brooklyn to fit. Well, you could if you used this font. Cowards. All right, number 11. And they've been good lately. They've been inconsistent. That's why they're not top 10. But the Bruins, when they're good, they're very good. And Brad Marchand, I mentioned him in the Hart Trophy video. He's second in scoring in the NHL. He's in I think it's a four-way tie with 70 points for second place. Yeah, you would have won money if you bet on that at the start of the year. Brad Marchand being in the Art Ross conversation. Number 10, and this is kind of the cream of the crop type. Ducks. Ducks are on the verge. No, there's glare on this one too, so let's cover this up. This is a high-tech operation I have here. Number 10, the Ducks. They've been good enough to win. There's some concern on my part that the Ducks are going to round into form for the playoffs and go on a run. As a person who's not a fan of the Ducks, I don't want to predict this. I don't. Again, notice none of my teams are in the top 10 this week. That's just how it works. Number 9. And this is where it gets really hard to call. And you can make an argument that Montreal should be higher than 9. But the teams that I have higher than Montreal, it is really hard to put Montreal higher when you get the feeling it's Carey Price. And I know that's not fair to Montreal fans. And I know that's not fair to the team. But you get that feeling that if Carey Price got hurt, the Canadians are done. And I know there's other star players like McDavid in Edmonton and certainly Lundqvist in New York. There's could Ronta pull the team through a whole playoff series or a playoff run? There are players that you have that issue with. If Marchand went ice cold and stopped scoring, does Boston get there? Probably not, because Rask has not been good enough lately. But we'll see. Number 8. And this was a tough call too because they've been so good all year, but they've looked flat. Coming into tonight, they had, I believe it's 5 goals in their last 4 games, something in that range. And I said, Minnesota's not going to keep this up all year, and I said that in a video not too long ago. And a lull like this is fine. They're still Stanley Cup contenders. Hansel hasn't performed for Minnesota as well as I think people had hoped. Ryan White's been very good, but they need more out of Hansel because they gave up a lot to get those guys. So they definitely need more out of Hansel than what they've had so far. And here come the Capitals, the number 1 team in the league. They're at the top of the standings. They likely finish there. But losing to Dallas, and I know Dallas has their number for whatever reason, it doesn't matter. You don't lose at home to Dallas. You don't. And San Jose beat them. And yeah, it's a down week for the Caps. Meanwhile, in 6th place, we got the Senators. Nice winning streak for the Senators. I wanted to put them higher. I couldn't justify putting them higher. It's nice to see Burroughs has fit in very well. It's nice to see that Ottawa's playing some very good hockey. It'll be interesting to see if going into the playoffs, if they have a fully healthy lineup, just how well they do. Because I think the potential is there for them to do very well, actually. But we'll see. Number 5, Columbus. I don't really have anything to add here. Just Columbus has had a solid season, and they're top 5, and they're good. They have all the depth. They have good goaltending. They have great defense. Everything is in place for Columbus to potentially go on a run. But the problem is, in number 4, you got Pittsburgh. In the clobbering of the Jets, they were playing a team that they're far better than. But they showed that Pittsburgh can beat you with speed. Pittsburgh can beat you with hits. Pittsburgh can beat you with skill or with toughness. They can beat you in goal, the blue line. There isn't really a lot that Pittsburgh can't do. You'll notice that Washington is currently lower than Pittsburgh for me on power rankings. Yeah, that makes my prediction of Washington winning the Stanley Cup look a little perilous. Just a little bit. Number 3, I will acknowledge they've had a very good run lately. I will acknowledge that the San Jose Sharks have looked like the team that made the Stanley Cup final last year. They have looked very good. I have no fault right now with the Sharks. I'd say, they're peaking early, but come on. Brent Burns shows no signs of slowing down. He's driving that ship. But Chicago's number 2. Now, there's a certain fan base that's like, wow, we're number 1. Yeah, I'll get to that. Chicago's number 2, and it was tough because I wanted them at number 1 because to me it makes the most sense with where they are in the standings, but I can't have them at number 1 when the number 1 team is one that's had 8 wins in a row. Calgary Flames, from power rankings, this is how the teams are playing right now. Calgary's been deadly. I watched them tear apart the Islanders. I watched them tear apart Montreal. Calgary is scary right now. And there's a reason that Oilers fans are nervous. It's not just that Calgary caught up, it's how Calgary's caught up to them. Calgary has played the best hockey of any team in the NHL over the last three and a half weeks. And Glenn Gulletson deserves full credit for helping the team turn its fortunes around after a game that they got embarrassed by the Montreal Canadiens. They lost 5-1, and he ripped them in the media, which can go one of two ways. And in this case, it's got Calgary up to there. Let me know in the comments below why I'm wrong. I know there's people who are going to take issue with where certain teams are in here, and that's fine. This is not a scientific thing. This is a gut thing. This is from watching games, from seeing a lot of different games and a lot of different pieces and how I feel teams are playing. But I am certainly open to any kind of feedback people have on that. You guys can let me know what you think, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. This high-tech board is part of my high-tech show. And all these stickers and magnets down here, well, the magnets down here, the stickers up here. The magnets down here are just because I don't have anywhere else to put them right now, and they end up in the corner, so they're there. And yeah, they're just there. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I will talk to y'all again soon. Yeah, let me know what you guys think.